Hey, so in this video, I'm talking about the best free VPN if you're going to be playing Fortnite. Now, there are a lot of different free VPNs out there, so it's really important that you make sure that you're using one which is safe and reliable, because a lot of them will actually take your personal information as payment instead of charging you money, and then they sell that personal information to third parties at a profit. And there have actually been cases where these free VPNs had data breaches and data leaks, and personal user information was leaked out over the internet. So in order to avoid that, you want to make sure that you have a solid VPN that does not keep any user information local on their own servers and has been tested out by independent third parties to make sure that they are really not keeping any personal information. On top of that, a lot of free VPNs don't actually do what they say they're going to do. They're just not that high quality. They won't work for a lot of the things that you would want a VPN for, or they just won't do it that good of a job at it. So I've tested out a lot of different free VPNs and I've done research into it, and I've narrowed it down to 3 VPNs as my top picks overall. The first one here is Windscribe. Secondly would be TunnelBear, and last would be ProtonVPN. These 3 VPNs are all really solid free VPNs. They all have a paid plan, but the free version is also really good. And both Proton and TunnelBear have had third-party audits from outside companies testing and making sure that they really don't keep any user information local on their own servers. Windscribe has done a little bit. There should be more information about that coming out soon, but they do have a reputation as a really reliable VPN. Now, I'm going to get into the pros and cons of all 3 of these, what they're good at and what they're not so good at. And if at any point you want to find out more about any of the VPNs I'm going to talk about, then you'll find more useful links in the description below. But first, let's just talk about why you would want to use a VPN when you're playing Fortnite. So the first thing is going to be for ping. You see, ping is the time that it takes for information to go from your computer to the game and then back to you. So the lower your ping, the shorter time that it takes, the faster the gameplay is going to be, the less lag you're going to have, and the smoother everything is going to go. On the other hand, if you have very high ping, that means it's taking a long time for your computer to communicate with the game, and your game is going to be very laggy and choppy and not fun to play at all. Now, one of the main factors, maybe the main factor in determining your ping, is how close you are to a Fortnite game server. When you're playing Fortnite, or really any game, how close you are to their server. So here's a map of all the locations of the Fortnite servers. And if you were, let's say, somewhere in like South Africa, then you would probably not be getting very decent ping, because the closest server to you would either be Bahrain or maybe Sao Paulo. But you would definitely be getting a lot better ping if you were in Europe and you have all of these servers right here around you. You would have a much better connection. Now, Fortnite doesn't allow you to choose the server that you're going to play on, but they kind of break these into regions and you can choose which region you want to play in. So let's go into Fortnite, go into your account over here, your settings, go to the gear icon. And then the first one here, matchmaking region, you can see that they've divided up all the server locations into different regions, and it says the ping of each one of them. There's an auto option that will pick the best one for you, or you can manually select it by going to matchmaking region and then clicking on this arrow and toggling through and picking which one you want to play with. So this will allow you to select which region you want to play in, and you can try to get better ping or play on a different server if you want. Some people like to play on the Middle East server because that's the newest one, so a lot of times it'll be easier to play over there because the players in that region aren't the most experienced. It's not as sweaty. But there are 2 areas here regarding ping that a VPN can help you out. You see, if you were in an area of the world where you had really bad ping, then using a VPN and trying to connect up to a server, a specific server, not just a region, but one of these specific servers, trying to connect up as close as possible to it using the VPN, that can potentially help you get better ping if you already have very bad ping. If you have good ping already, then using a VPN will probably not make it better. But if your ping is already somewhere like 300 or 350, something like that, then a VPN could potentially make that better by connecting up to one of these individual locations. And always be sure to check for an updated list of their current servers, because these change all the time. Sometimes they may close one down, sometimes they may open up more servers, so you always want to just check and make sure that you have an updated list. Another way a VPN might help you with your ping is in order to get a more stable connection, because right here it says, right, my ping in the best possible location in Europe for me would be 71 milliseconds. And that might be the best case scenario, but it could also be that for whatever reason, you might get spikes in your connection and all of a sudden your ping is going to shoot up and then go down and go back up again. And that can make for some really unpleasant gameplay. So using a VPN can help stabilize that connection and keep it consistent, even if you may wind up with a little bit higher ping at times, but it can help keep it more stable, which overall will be better when you're playing the game. Now, the way we would do this is going back into Windscribe, and we're just going to go and pick a location. So we go into this location list. In the free version, you have a limited amount of places that you can connect to, right? They of course want you to move up to the free version, but all we would do is, let's say I wanted to connect up to the French server, right? The Paris server. So I would just go here to this search bar and type in France. And right here, I have 3 servers. Marseille, I can't connect to because that's in the paid version, but I can connect up to these 2 connections in Paris. So I can connect up to this one, and in just a few moments, it's going to connect me up to that Paris server. Now you might notice right over here, it says 9.8 gigabytes. That's because Windscribe in their free version limits you to using the VPN for 10 gigabytes of data. You see, all of these VPNs have some type of limitation in the free version because they want you to move up to the paid version. So with Windscribe, you're going to get limited countries, and you're also only going to get 10 gigabytes of data. With TunnelBear, you're going to get pretty much all the locations that they offer in the paid version, but the big drawback is that you only get 2 gigabytes of data, which is not a lot at all. And in Proton, you're going to get unlimited data, but in terms of countries that you can connect to, there's only about 10, and you can't pick them. All the countries in this list over here are going to be locked, and the only way you can connect up to one of those 10 countries, about 10 countries that they offer, is by going to here and clicking Quick Connect, and it'll automatically connect you up to one of those locations. So there is a serious limitation for all 3 of these VPNs if you're in the free version. Now, I mentioned before that both Proton and TunnelBear have been checked out by outside third-party companies and have been tested to show that they do not keep any personal information local, which is a big plus for both of them. On the other hand, another big downside is something that's not really related to gaming, but if you're going to be using a VPN to stream content, let's say on Netflix or Hulu, that's only available in a different country by connecting up to a server there, then these are not good options for you because they just don't work for streaming. Windscribe, on the other hand, they don't have that report by an outside company showing that they don't keep personal information, but their VPN does work for streaming. So that's kind of some of the pros and cons here regarding these VPNs. Both Proton and TunnelBear are pretty much better options if you are looking for more privacy and security, and Windscribe may not be as good in that area. They have a good reputation, like I said, but they just don't have that report. On the other hand, it will work if you want to use a free VPN to stream content, at least for 10 gigabytes of data. Now, getting back into Fortnite, now that I showed you how to use the VPNs and how to connect up to a different location, in Windscribe, it'll either be choosing one here. In Proton, it'll be by clicking this Quick Connect button, and in TunnelBear by just selecting on one of these yellow tunnels over here. Now, I wanted to go back into Fortnite and show you one more thing that you can use a VPN for, although this is not something that I recommend, but I'm going to show you probably the best way to do it if you want to try it out. And this would be to use a VPN in order to get a cheaper deal on V-Bucks, because the prices for V-Bucks will change depending on your location and where you're registered to. The reason I don't recommend this is because there is a possibility that Fortnite will realize what you're doing and ban you, and people have had this happen to them. So I'm going to show you what might be the best way to do this. I'm actually going to show you sort of 2 ways to do it, but definitely do this at your own risk. So right now my account is registered to Europe, and 1,000 V-Bucks is €9 about, right? And I'm going to try changing this over to a different country where it'll be cheaper. So the first thing to do is exit out of our account and go back to the Epic Games launcher. And here in the launcher, you can go to your account and click on that. Now here in your account, when you go to the address and it says country region, so you click on this, and instead of France, I'm going to pick, let's say, Brazil, and save changes, confirm. Now I'm going to go back, I'm going to shut down the launcher and exit out of here completely. Now, the idea here is that as much as possible, you want to make it seem to Epic Games and Fortnite as if you are actually in Brazil where your account is registered to. So when I said that there's actually like 2 ways to do this is because another way that I've seen people do this is they actually make an entirely new account and they have that one set up to the other location. So in my case, it would be instead of going into my account and changing it from France to Brazil, I would have opened up a second account and have that one registered to Brazil and have 2 different accounts. And then you would be able to gift yourself things that you would buy. Not everything, but you could gift yourself different accessories and skins from one account to the other. But either way, whether you have one account and you change location like I did, or you have 2 separate accounts, you're going to want to go into your VPN afterwards and connect up to the location of whichever account you're using. So I'm going to connect in TunnelBear up to this Brazilian server here. Keep in mind that if you're using a free VPN, which is going to be limited, you're not going to have that many countries to connect to in order to try and get a discount. So now let's just make sure that everything's working. I'm going to open up the Epic Games launcher again, and I'm going to open up Fortnite and go back into the store. Okay, so now I'm back in the V-Bucks store, and 1,000 V-Bucks, before it was €9 about, and here it's 25 reais. And 25 reais is going to be in euro, €4 about. So that means you would be getting the same amount of V-Bucks for less than half the price. So that's a serious discount. Now, like I said, this is very risky, and if you're going to do it, another thing that I would recommend is that when you actually go to purchase and buy them, then either try using a Brazilian credit card. If you have that, try getting some type of Brazilian registered credit card, or use a PayPal account. Basically, like I said, trying to make it seem as much as possible as if you are actually in Brazil, because there is the potential that they may realize what you're doing, and this does go against the terms of service, and they might ban your account. So there you go. Those are the two main things that you might use a VPN for when it comes to Fortnite, mainly for ping, and if you want to try taking some risks, then also for helping you get a discount on V-Bucks. Now, like I mentioned, all of these 3 VPNs are solid options, but they do all have some limitations to them. Now, if you're looking to upgrade and get access to many more locations and not have any data limit, then you can upgrade from one of the free plans of these VPNs to their paid plan. Although for the same price or cheaper than these paid plans here, there are better VPNs that I would recommend than these 3 when it comes to the paid plans. So my overall #1 recommendation in the paid VPN category would be ExpressVPN. This is personally my go-to VPN and the one that I use the most. It's very, very simple and easy to use. You just go here, pick a location. They have 100 countries to choose from with over 3,000 servers, and you just pick one and click on this connection button, and that's it. You're good to go. Now, the thing with Express is that it is a little bit pricey. It's a little bit of an investment, although in my opinion, you are getting a solid value for your money. But there is another option which is a bit cheaper and also a very, very good option, and that would be NordVPN here. This actually has more servers than ExpressVPN. They have about 6,000 plus servers, and as of now, 111 countries. And this also comes with a lot of other add-on features. It's a little too much to go into in this video, but I will be sure to leave links for full in-depth reviews for both of these VPNs in the description below. And also, if you were thinking about maybe trying out one of these VPNs, then I will also have a link for you in the description with a discount for both of these that will save you some extra money. And they both have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try them out and see if you like it. And if you don't like it, then you can just ask for a refund and get your money back. So you're not tied down in any way. You can try it, see if it works for you, see if you like it. And if you don't, just cancel and you won't lose any money. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope it helped you out. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.